Welcome to the first ever Fantasy Football Friday. I'm Brody Heidemann.
I'm Peyton Parker.
Today we're going to be going game by game, talking about all the people you should start, sit, predictions, all the intel we have on this weekend's games in the NFL. And start off with, we got 2-2 Jacksonville Jaguars going up against Buffalo. And again, in Europe, it's an early game, playing in London. Jacksonville, they just like to play in London, but, what are you thinking, Peyton?
So I think Bills have a pretty good chance of winning this game. Jacksonville's defense hasn't been able to hold up.
Mm-hmm.
Bills have a very high-powered offense. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs.
They do.
Gabe Davis. I would start Stephon Diggs and I would sit Travis Etienne because Buffalo not only has a good offense, but they have a really good run defense.
I agree with that. Calvin Ridley, he's been playing terrible. Week 1, he went off for the Jaguars, and ever since then, he has just been everything but good. So, he has not lived up to this hype coming off the season of suspension. But, one player that stood out for the Bills, James Cook, he's really stepped up, taken over the role of Devin Singletary, and, he is just becoming this running back one for this Bills offense. So, I'm going to say start James Cook this week. Jaguars don't have a good run defense. I think James Cook's going to run all over them. And Calvin Ridley, I would sit him on the bench. My score prediction for the game, Bills 31, Jags 21. Next up, we got Houston taking on Atlanta, battle of 2-2 teams. Battle of the top rookies in the league. C.J. Stroud and Bijan, they are just going off.
C.J. Stroud, everybody thought that he was not going to be good after preseason and after those test scores. Everybody saw.
Yeah, he was terrible.
But, something turned on in his head. A light switch flipped or something.
Fourth in the league in passing. As a rookie, that's insane.
Mm-hmm.
They are just, the Texans, you wouldn't think this team, new coach, new all this. They traded up for C.J. Stroud. They traded up for, they didn't trade up for C.J. Stroud. They traded up for Will Anderson. Got C.J. Stroud along with him. They got Tank Dell, who's been showing out at wide receiver on offense. If I could name another person to start, I'd say Tank Dell. But I'm going to say my starter this week is Nico Collins, coming off the big 100-yard-plus game. I think you start him. And then my sit of the week, I wouldn't even say sit. I'd say drop. I would drop Kyle Pitts if I were playing fantasy football. He has been terrible. Jonnu Smith is stepping up in the Falcon offense. I would sit Kyle Pitts. If not, drop him. My prediction, I think Houston's going to win big. I think it's going to be 34 Houston, 17 Atlanta.
First off, my start, Dameon Pierce, had a really good last week. Probably be really good again. Atlanta's defense is garbage. I'm just going to say it. And I would sit Drake London.
I like that one. Drake London
has not been getting very many targets.
Desmond Ritter's not been playing any type of ball at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, I agree with that.
My score prediction is the Texans win 28-13.
I agree with that.
Tennessee versus Indiana, AFC South tiebreaker already. Every team in that division is tied at 2-2.
It's crazy.
So, last week, Derrick Henry threw a passing touchdown.
Crazy. Derrick Henry, he had a big week. He's been off and on so far, coming off this big game against the Bengals. But, Derrick Henry, I just don't know. I don't like his consistency. If I'm playing fantasy football and I have Derrick Henry, I don't know how I feel about him. He's just been all over the board. And then this Colts defense, they've lacked so far. But, still, they let Kyron Williams go off last week. I think the Colts defense bounces back. I think Anthony Richardson is going to be electric. I think he's going to pop off. Anthony Richardson's good. I think Micah Pittman gets involved. I think they just get everything clicking. I would start Anthony Richardson at quarterback. I think he's going to be the best rookie quarterback this season. And I would sit Derrick Henry. Even though he's coming off the big game, I would sit Derrick Henry.
I'm going to directly oppose that. I would start Derrick Henry. I don't care about his consistency. I just have a gut feeling that he's going to play good.
And that's all you need.
And my sit, DeAndre Hopkins, he has not played good at all. His quarterback situation is not good. And I think the Colts win the game 24-21. I think it'll be a close one.
We were just reversing everything. I got Titans 24, Colts 21. I think it's a close game. I can't stick with the Colts. I think I contradict myself a lot, but I can't stick with the Colts. Next up, we got the 0-4 Carolina Panthers taking on the 3-1 Detroit Lions. And Detroit, they have been electric. Taking down the Chiefs week 1. Really only one loss to Seattle. That was a close game. They had to lead most of the game. And this Detroit offense, they've just been electric. Jared Goff, he's had the good, he's had the bad. Couple few interceptions early on this season, but he came off. I want to say it was like a 22 game without a pass, or not 22 game. It was like 300 total passes without an interception. So he's lighting it up. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's coming off another 100-yard game. He's questionable. I think he plays. And, I mean, the big question mark, I think me and you have this marked down, is David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. They have just been, I mean, they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round, and he really is yet to see the field. I just don't know how I feel about him.
Yeah, my sit of the week is Jahmyr Gibbs. That man does not touch the ball.
He does not. David Montgomery, I mean, he's getting all the touches in the red zone. He's getting them points on offense. He's getting those points for fantasy team. Coming off a 35-point week, I mean, my start of the week is David Montgomery. I think they're going to keep pounding the ball with him. He's a good running back. He gets the yards. He gets the simple carries. They put him in on third down. He gets those yards. And my sit of the week, I mean, I can't. Bryce Young has been playing terrible. He's underperformed. He's got as many touchdowns as he does interceptions. He needs a wide receiver one. My sit of the week is Bryce Young alongside Miles Sanders, who has yet to show anything.
My score prediction, Carolina, Detroit. I think the Lions win 38-7. I don't think this is going to be a close game at all.
I mean, I'm pretty close to that. I got Lions winning 42-10 over the Panthers. I think this is just going to be a blowout in the backwoods.
New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins coming off. Who did they play last week?
They played the Bills last week.
They played the Whales last week.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, Dolphins, they have been one of the highest scoring offenses this season. Put up 70 2 weeks ago against the Broncos. I mean, right on the opposite end of it, the Giants have just been terrible. The Giants have not showed any sign of hope. They have played terrible. I mean, Daniel Jones, I don't know what his deal is. Can't find his footing under this new contract.
Speaking of footing, Daniel Jones should not step foot on the field. No, I'm just kidding. But I would sit Daniel Jones if I had him in fantasy. I would not start him. His offensive line, it's not even him, to be honest. It's his offensive line.
I mean, this offensive line, they have been playing terrible. And I mean, another part of it, this Miami offense, it's like the exact opposite. They have been playing the exact opposite of the Giants. Devin Achane, I think how he pronounces it. Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert have just been lighting it up. They're a speedy duo. I think they're going to keep it going. I think they're going to roll through them here. My start of the week is Devin Achane and Raheem Mostert. And my sit, I don't know if Saquon Barkley is going to play. He's still questionable for this week. My sit's Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. I think this Giants team is going to get rolled. My prediction, Dolphins 33, Giants 14.
Yeah, my start, I'm going to have to agree with you. Raheem Mostert. I think the Dolphins win. I have marked down 35-17. Dolphins will win 35-3.
Yeah, I could see.
Daniel Jones' offense is not working.
I could see Daniel Jones not doing good. Next up, we got the Saints versus the Patriots, and I mean, it's kind of similar to the Giants. The Patriots, they've just been lackluster, nothing working. This is a game, I mean, both teams really lacking, a lot of injuries. Mac Jones benched last week for Bailey Zapp. I don't know if we're going to see him on the field this week. You're probably going to see him out there, but he's going to have a short leash. I mean, it's just a nightmare in New England. Ramondre Stevenson really has been the backbone of this Patriots offense so far. I look for him to have a big game. And, I mean, Chris Olave for the Saints, he has been popping off, leading receiver for the team. And then Alvin Kamara, he is back. And, I mean, he had 13 receptions last week, only 33 yards. But PPR league scores, he got a lot of points for them. So, I don't know. It's a big week.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I'm sitting Chris Olave this week. The Patriots secondary is very good.
They did just trade. They lost Christian Gonzalez on the season with the torn labrum. They did just pick up J.C. Jackson. I do not believe he will be playing. But, I mean, my start of the week, Chris Olave, I got to contradict you. I mean, he's been popping off. I mean, Derek Carr, he's found his wide receiver one. In this lackluster wide receiver room, Chris Olave is really the one bright spot. And for the Patriots, Juju Smith-Schuster, I would sit him. I don't know if anybody's been starting him, but he is just, I mean, turning it all over from the Chiefs to New England. He's been the exact opposite. My score prediction, I got Saints 17, New England 10.
My start, Alvin Kamara. We saw how he was used in the offense last week. I think the score, this is my score prediction, it'll be Patriots 20-17.
I mean, I agree. I mean, it's going to be a closer game.
Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. This is going to be an interesting match.
I know.
Both teams are off to a shaky start. I mean,
Baltimore's 3-1, Pittsburgh's 2-2. Kenny Pickett got banged up last week. Only has a bone bruise. Sounds like he's playing. Still, though, I mean, this Pittsburgh team, they got the defense, but I mean, Najee Harris, he's been so unproductive. Jalen Warren getting all the receptions from him. I mean, it's just been shaky.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Matt Canada, I don't know what's going on with that offense, but
he's something. I mean, I don't know what to call it, but I mean, this Raven offense, they've looked good. Lamar Jackson coming off a big game, leading rusher for the Ravens. Again, he's just, stepping up, dual threat quarterback. And Zay Flowers, he's been consistently average. He's looking for that big game, and I think he's going to have a big game this week. I think Zay Flowers, he's going to abuse the Steelers secondary. I think he's going to go off. I got the start of the week, Zay Flowers. Sit of the week, Najee Harris. I don't think he's going to really see much production this week. And my prediction, Ravens 28, Steelers 20. I think it's going to be more of a defensive-sided game, but watch for a lot of scores.
Yeah, my sit is Odell, if anybody's been starting him. I don't think anybody has. And my start, probably Lamar Jackson. He's consistently running the ball, throwing it too, but
he gets the points on the run. Next up, we got Philadelphia taking on the Rams. And, Philadelphia coming in 4-0. They're the hottest team in football. It's arguable that they are coming off their Super Bowl appearance, and they have not slowed down 4-0. The Rams 2-2, and I'm a Rams fan, but I can't brag enough about Puka Nacua. He's all that. He's a 5th-round rookie out of BYU, and he's been putting up numbers similar to Cooper Kupp did 2 years ago. And he has been doing good. And this Rams offense has been better than what they could be. But, going up against this Eagles offense and defense now with Jalen Carter, it's going to be tough. Kyren Williams, he's stepped up for the Rams. I think he's going to be consistent. What do you think, Peyton?
I think to contradict that, I think Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown have also had excellent seasons as wide receivers.
This is a big game. A lot of yards. I could see this game being really high scoring. I could also see it being really low scoring. So,
my sit is DeAndre Swift. I don't think he's going to see the ball that much. Obviously, in the red zone, Eagles love doing that QB sneak.
I agree. I would say, my start of the week, Kyren Williams, he's getting a lot of touches. And my sit, Dallas Goedert, he's really done nothing. My prediction, Eagles 34, Rams 21.
Cincinnati versus Arizona. Yeah. Cincinnati has surprisingly been.
Both teams have been bad. Good. Both teams 1-3. We're just gonna be quick with this one. Joe Burrow, not good. Joshua Dobbs, not good. Both these teams, they're lackluster. I don't think Joe Burrow's living up to the name this season. I don't know. My start of the week, I think James Conner, he's gonna go run over all this Bengals defense. They haven't been that good. And my sit, if you're a fantasy owner and Joe Burrow's been doing what he's doing, I'm sitting Joe Burrow. I don't care. Joe Burrow's been playing terrible. I think they're gonna end up taking him out of the game. I think they're gonna need to give him a week. He's just been terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. I'm sitting Joe Burrow. I think I'm going to start Joshua Dobbs, actually.
I like that. I won't oppose it. My predictions, Cardinals 18, Bengals 13. I don't think this is a big game. Next up, we got the Jets taking on Denver, and this is just a game.
Who would want to watch this game?
This is a weird game. Zach Wilson coming off a big game, but both teams have just been lackluster. Going into the season, a big, hope for these teams, and nothing working. Breece Hall is set to get more carries this week. Watch that. Marvin Mims, he's been utilized by the Broncos a lot. If I'm besides who I'm going to start, I would start Marvin Mims. I think he's going to be productive. But we'll go to the chase quick. I'm going to say start Breece Hall. I'm going to say sit Garrett Wilson and Jerry Jeudy. I think Garrett Wilson going on Pat Surtain, he's going to get guarded up a lot. Jerry Jeudy, he's just going to be shut down by, I think they're going to have Sauce Gardner on him. I think it's just going to be a game of wide receiver twos, and that's why I would start Breece Hall or Marvin Mims Jr.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on Sauce being on Jerry. That's why I would start Courtland Sutton. He's average 12-point a game scorer. I think he could score a lot more than that this week. My sit would probably have to be Breece Hall. I don't think he's going to see the ball much.
I don't think so either. Next up, we got the Kansas City Chiefs taking on Minnesota. Chiefs 3-1, the Vikings 1-3, and it's just been Chiefs. They've been rolling. They've been getting hot. Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce. I can say it on here. It's just, it's the publicity between both of them. I think Kelce, he's been underproductive. Last game he didn't do very good. Cam Akers, I believe, will be active alongside Alexander Mattison for the Vikings. But still with that, my start of the week, I think Rashee Rice could have a big game for the Chiefs. I think he's going to step up. I think they need him to step up in place of a wide receiver one. Kadarius Toney really hasn't been anything good. And I think this of the week, Cam Akers, I don't think he's going to be very productive. I don't think he's going to get very carries. My prediction, Chiefs 42, Vikings 14.
I am going to have to contradict you on that prediction. I think this is going to be a close game, first off. Minnesota's been in a bunch of close games. They've just made some mistakes in the red zone. I think Chiefs win 27-24. I am going to start Travis Kelce. I think he has a comeback week. And I'm sitting Alexander Madison.
I agree with that. I think Alexander Madison can't make yours. Either one of those you can sit. Next up, probably the biggest game of the week. It's Sunday Night Football. Cowboys taking on the 49ers. And both teams, the Cowboys besides one bad feat. They could be 4-0 coming into this game. 49ers are 4-0. And, this is just a big game between the top two NFC teams. Brock Purdy's been lights out. This Cowboys defense lights out. They have been putting up points. I don't really know what else to say. What about,
obviously there's a lot of buzz around this game. Two great teams going up against each other. But I think 49ers win 23-13. I'm probably going to start Dak. He's really not thrown any interceptions
terrible
this year, which is surprising.
Yeah. I know this is going to sound like a weird start, but I would say the Cowboys defense. I would start the Cowboys defense. If you have the Cowboys defense, they're getting the sacks. They're getting those points. They're getting those single points that are just contributing. And if they let up the scores, they get those sacks. I would start the Cowboys defense, and I would sit Deebo Samuels. He has been really unproductive this season. Was out last week. Well, he played last week. Didn't play very much. I don't think they're going to get him very involved this game. I would sit him. My prediction, Cowboys 24, 49ers 14. I think it's going to be a lackluster game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really run-heavy game. Mm-hmm. Tony Pollard. Really going to see the ball a lot.
Christian McCaffrey, he's looking to extend his streak to 14 games with a touchdown.
So I'm sitting CD Lamb if I'm a fantasy owner.
Wow. I agree, but I don't know.
Green Bay versus Las Vegas. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Both offenses have not played good.
I agree.
This season.
Jordan Love has been filling in for A-Rod. You really can't be all that with A-Rod being your predecessor. But, Las Vegas, I don't believe Garoppolo will be playing this week. Aiden O'Connell played last week. I don't know. I think it's going to be a slow game. Josh Jacobs, slow start. But, my start of the week, I think it's Dobbs is the start of the week. I think he's been really good. But my sit of the week, Josh Jacobs, he has been, he's just been not very good. My prediction, Green Bay 31, Las Vegas 10.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on Jordan Love not being able to really fill in, but he's done an okay job.
Yeah, he's done decent.
I would also start Romeo Dobbs, and I would sit Devontae Adams.
Ooh, that's a big one.
Yeah. They're not going to be able to produce with Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, I agree with that. Aiden O'Connell, if he's starting, do not start Devontae Adams.
My score prediction, Green Bay wins 17-14.
That's a close game, but I can agree with that. Thanks for tuning in today, folks. I'm Brody Heidemann.
I'm Peyton Parker.
And this has been week 1 of Fantasy Football Fridays with the Wingspan, and we will see you next time.